Kapow. This is Attalla, Jeff Underwood. This guy is Jerry White. What's up, man?
Man, what do you think of Attalla? One of the first things you think about if you've come up through the school system, been there for a while, is the DARE program. I know my kids absolutely loved it. Remember, Bailey won the DARE fishing tournament that time.
I think Captain Bone fixed that. That was rigged.
Bone double,
He rigged it.
So, even though he's still good, but he's no longer running the DARE program, right?
I saw he was filling in for
he's still
last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still helping with it. Yeah.
He's helping, but
he's helping with it.
He ain't
running it.
He looks good.
It's a new. He does look good.
He does.
It's because he's raising those dogs still, right?
Oh, is that what it is?
He's still raising dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He that's who you need to. Did you ask about a dog?
What kind of dog? The only thing I'm getting, I got too many dogs, man.
Schnauzer?
No.
Schnauzers? What's he got? I forget. He's got something cool. I forget.
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
he don't have donkeys.
I'll ask him. I'll check.
He ain't got no donkey.
No.
So
yes.
I'm sorry. Let's introduce the one, the only.
He's trying to figure out how to pronounce your
Yeah,
last
he's
name.
working on it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not even gonna pretend.
The wheels are turning.
No.
Dude, I spelled it. I'm spelling it. I'm trying to spell it out or say it phonetically. Ellie goes, don't even try.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Officer Wes. Hey,
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. So,
I can say it.
You can't say
No,
that.
no.
Legendre.
Legendre. Yeah.
Legendre.
That's it. Yeah.
See,
Yep.
it's a smooth name.
Oh,
You
dude.
say it like the people in the pew.
Yeah.
Legendre.
Definitely French. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cajun.
Yeah. Okay.
Officer West is a lot easier with the kids.
Yeah.
It is Officer West.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Hey, kind of give your own introduction, kind of what you do for those who don't know you, and I'm gonna let you introduce your partner.
Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, thanks guys for having me this morning. I am Officer West. I'm the SRO at Attalla High School. Also work in the Attalla City Schools as the SRO supervisor. The DARE program is a big part of what I do with the schools, along with school safety. I work close with the administrators on that aspect of it, and the liaison between the school district and the police department for pretty much all things school safety. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, the SRO program today, and the DARE program here that I teach in all three schools. And this is Darren. He's the official mascot of the DARE program. Has been for a long time. So
Not Darren Bailey.
no.
Definitely not Darren
His
Bailey.
hair is.
So
way
he's gonna hang out with us today.
That's awesome. I mean, DARE is a special thing in Attalla. I know it's a national program, right?
Yeah,
It's been around
yeah,
a long
absolutely,
time,
yeah.
but from Captain Bone doing what he did and passing the torch on to people like yourself, it's these kids get excited, and I know that makes you excited. Being a dad and being an officer, man. Attalla picked the right one when they put you in there,
Yeah.
brother. I promise you.
Well, I appreciate it.
That's pretty awesome.
So DARE program is about teaching. It's not just about keeping kids off drugs, right? It's about
Right.
teaching decision making and processing things, health, right?
Yeah.
Healthy living and
Yeah.
those types of things. Is that talk
Yeah,
a little bit about that?
yeah. So the DARE program is initially started in 1983 in Los Angeles. It was kind of a joint thing between the LAPD and the LA school district out there. Originally, it was based off of just drugs and alcohol prevention and abuse and stuff like that. In 2009, it was actually revamped, which is the new DARE program, the Keeping It Real program. This is what I teach today. And it goes over everything from stress, peer pressure, good decision making, all that kinds of stuff. It's more than just a drug abuse prevention program now. We cover all kinds of stuff, mental health, everything. Pretty much anything you can think of is covered in the DARE program when it comes to child advocacy and making good decisions and stuff like that. Just basically arming them with some strategies for peer pressure and resistant strategies and those things.
How big is the mental health thing?
It's pretty big. We work pretty close with our mental health coordinator and kind of act as informal counselors as DARE officers. And we do a couple classes with American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, stuff like that. So as you get into those older classes, it's a middle school and high school program. So it's kind of tailored toward those age groups. But as far as the fifth grade class, which is what most people think of when you think of DARE.
Sure.
DARE class and DARE camp as a fifth grader.
Heck yeah.
We go over, things like stress and peer pressure and, some negative health effects and stuff of alcohol and tobacco use and those things.
I think that's something that, talk about mental health care on that level, you don't really hear talk about in mainstream, right? Adults, obviously. But I think if we get a better grasp on it at that level, man, who doesn't need good mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, being an SRO in general is more of a proactive side of policing than a reactive side. So that's a big part of what we do is pretty much anything we can do ahead of time to.
Well, how hard was it for you to go to the high school? Because them little babies in the elementary
Man, I'm
school
telling
loved you, bro.
that was the toughest decision I think I've made in a long time.
Yeah.
Going from the elementary school for a couple years and then moving to the high school. I love the kids up there too. It's great, but it is different.
Sure.
The kids are older. Treat them a little different, and but the little kids, man, high fives and knuckles all day. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah. The other ones, they get a little attitude sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, you've had middle school and high school students.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's been a long time. I mean, you're kind of old. But.
I'm really old. So, what's the first time you wanted to choke one of those high school students?
Oh, man, that's.
I can ask that question.
Yeah, we're still
I didn't
on
say
air
who.
right now.
I didn't say who.
We actually got some really good kids. I haven't had a bad interaction with a high school kid, so they've all taken well.
He's middle school. Oh, you want to choke Tyson Davis, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's who you want to choke? Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't catch him.
No, I ain't going to be able to catch him. No.
Dare camp.
Coming up,
Dare
camp.
That, and you mentioned that.
Yeah,
so
Dare camp.
That's a huge thing for fifth graders, right?
Fifth grade, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Everybody wants to go to Dare camp.
Yes.
How does that happen? How do you qualify to go to Dare camp? What is it?
All right, so Dare Camp is after I teach the Dare class in fifth grade, which is usually August to around December. We start talking about Dare Camp, which takes place in the summer every year. It's available to all of our fifth graders, right? Yeah. But we also have high school classmates that come back as counselors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think this year we've got 100 fifth graders, and about 60 of them have signed up to go to Dare Camp.
Heck yeah.
So we're on our 28th annual Dare Camp, and I want to say Captain Bone probably did 24 of those. So, and he's coming back this year too. So what it is you complete the DARE program, you get a certificate, and then as long as you're eligible for a field trip in the school, you're eligible to go to DARE camp. We take as many kids as we can get. We never turn anybody away. So we're going June the 16th to the 19th to Camp Tekakwitha in Springville. And,
spell that.
Oh man, it starts with a T. It starts with a T, right? So I can get you there a lot easier than I can spell it out for you.
That's funny.
So it just goes over things reinforced in the DARE program. Communication, team building, being a part of a team. We have fun. We're going to do a rock wall, a slide, swimming, kayaking, canoeing, the fishing rodeo.
Heck yeah.
So
I'm telling you, man, it's famous.
And we're one of the only municipalities in the state that do an overnight DARE camp. So it's a 3-day camp.
I mean, they were doing sleeping bags, and it was so funny, man. And they, the first year, and they go to different places. Not always the same place.
It's not the same place, no.
Right. So the first time you guys did the zip line, that was huge. Boy, all year the kids were talking about going zip lining. It was so funny, man.
Yeah, we did that last year in Camp Lee in Anniston. We had a water zip line. Went right over the lake, kind of ended in the water. Man, they loved it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Talk about the counselors that do come back. I mean, that's going to be a proud moment for the kids that you talked. Mm-hmm. They went to DARE camp, and now they thought so much about it, they're coming back and being counselors. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love to see when they go through the fifth grade program, get up into ninth grade and then want to come back as a counselor.
Yeah.
I did that myself. When I went through it at Stowers Hill many moons ago. Ooh. And I came back all 4 years as a high school counselor with Captain Bone. And, I advocate that a lot. I tell the fifth graders, hey, get through middle school, and when you come back ninth grade, I'd love to have you. And we've probably got 25 counselors, and probably 10 of them that have graduated the last couple of years that are coming back. So we've got a good support from our staff that work it every year, and then a lot of their kids and kids that have recently graduated. They're always like, hey, can I come to DARE camp this year? Absolutely. So.
Wow.
But I think it's important to understand that for you guys, it's work. It ain't easy. I mean, it's like herding cats.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of work.
Good Lord. Who's some of the people that help you with this?
So this year, me, Captain Bone, and Officer Roebuck, the SRO Telemary, they've all helped set everything up. Okay. Meredith Jones at the high school, we have support from all of our administrators. They help out. They even come to DARE camp a day and hang out with us. The city, the city is... They give so much support. The police department, Chief Doug Jordan and Mayor Larry Means, they're huge on supporting the program. I don't think I've asked for anything that I've been turned down for. So I'm fortunate for for that leadership and them guys. But a lot of our staff, I've had counselors from each of the schools step up and help. Teachers, Coach Horton and Paige Cash, all of them have come back. For many years. Our custodians and lunchroom ladies, they've come and helped cook in the kitchen. So we just got
that's a blessing.
Bunch of folks, that are willing to come every year to help. So I couldn't do it without them.
No one gets turned away.
Nobody gets turned away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Except Jeff.
No, Jeff, you can't go.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
There's a weight limit. I can't
Oh.
go. That's what it is. I can't
Dude,
go.
how could we get Larry on a zip line? How could we do
I
that?
think that breaks his contract with.
He broke a hip.
I think getting Larry's doctor on board would be the
Yeah, I
thing.
mean,
Speaking
we have to run that through Tanya to see what she says about it. She'll have to sign off. That's so funny. Hey,
Now,
so
Brent would sign off on
oh
it.
yeah, Brent
in a
would
minute.
strap him in and push him down the line. There's no
He's
question.
trying to get that policy money.
That's what you need. Go on, Dad. Hey, so for those who, and we'll get back to Dare. For those who don't know, kind of take us through your day of being an SRO. What everybody hears SRO, but I don't think they really understand what that means from a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so yeah, aside from there, just working as an SRO in the schools, obviously it's law enforcement based. You know, school safety is our primary responsibility. But along with that, we also kind of operate as SROs under the NASRO triad, which is the National Association of SROs. And that goes with law enforcement, educator, and informal counselors and mentors. So obviously our presence is huge. You know, officer presence, being in the schools, having that marked unit and that uniform is key to school safety. But there's also a lot of things that I do and the other SROs do on a daily basis, like building a relationship with those kids, being there for them, asking questions, talking to them, giving them that other avenue of somebody to talk to, you know, besides an educator and administrator.
Sure.
Do a lot of walks around the school, checking cameras, you know, but mainly we don't have a lot going on as far as school safety. It's building those relationships with the kids and just letting them know that, hey, you know, law enforcement is always bad. You know, my full-time job here is for y'all and to service y'all. And, you know, I think that's a huge part of the community policing side of it that a lot of people don't understand.
Do you find them more and more since you've been doing the SRO program approaching you in public, like coming up and not, you know, when we were kids, it was different, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Not you way younger than us, but
Way
when we were kids, the community police and officers were out in the neighborhoods, hanging out, talking to you. And it's kind of got difficult, but you guys have gone back to that in Attalla. Y'all do a lot of community policing.
A lot of community policing,
So
yeah.
how have you seen at Heritage Day or, hey, I'm out at a football game or a basketball game, do those kids more often come up to you now?
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
approachable, that type of deal?
Yeah, absolutely. And not just me, other officers as well. You know, just having those officers in the schools, it gives them, you know, they kind of receive that a little bit better when they do see an officer on
Yeah.
the street. You know, hey, do you know Officer West or you know Officer Roebuck or Bone? Like, I talk to them every day at school, you know, and a lot of our officers have even said, you know, hey, I've had students ask about you. You know, they call us if they get out with students and stuff like that. But I think just them being more receptive to law enforcement or somebody in uniform is huge. And we are, you know, city of Attalla, it's growing, but it's still a smaller city compared to what's around us.
Sure.
And community policing, I mean, they're huge on that. You know, they're
Well,
huge on being out in the community. And
I remember like when you were growing up, you grew up at, you know, with my mother at our house, and
Yeah.
big wiffle ball in the backyard, right?
oh yeah, every day.
I mean, we were wiffle ball, and there would be a police officer stop here and there, come play ball with us a
Yeah.
little bit, and at the what is the mental health center down the road?
CED.
Okay,
Yep.
CED now, but back then, you know, originally it was Johnson's Giant Food before they moved, and then it was another doctor's office, and that doctor would take lunch break and come down and play with the
that
kids.
right?
Yeah.
Play wiffle ball or football, whatever was going on in the
Yeah.
house. So
Yep.
to see that you guys are still doing that, and you're encouraged to, your leadership wants you
Absolutely,
guys.
100%.
It's not like that in every city. Your son being a police officer, not a lot of that going on over there. Maybe more with people, younger officers that are trained to do it. Let's talk about the seriousness of your job, though. All right, because it's
serious, yeah.
yeah.
It
I
can
mean,
go
it's,
from
it's as real as it gets in some
Yeah,
some
in
occasions.
any given time, you know, go from 0 to 100, you know, just like that. And one of the things that I teach during school safety meetings and all these other things is, you know, don't ever have that mentality of, you know, small town USA, it couldn't happen here. You know, because there's always, every day it's hitting closer and closer to home. So, you know, violent critical incidents in the schools, school violence, you know, school safety, it's, you know, we have a really good administrative and leadership team with the school board in each of our schools that school safety is the top priority, like no matter what. But it could go from doing nothing, you know, to madness like that. So I think being prepared is a lot of our job. You know, when we have a boring day or we have a slow day, that's a successful day for us. That's what we want.
How tough is your job knowing that you have to protect your principal and vice principal at the high school? Because they can't protect themselves. It ain't like the elementary
Man.
school. Those ladies on point, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to fight
right.
them ladies,
Yeah.
but just more added stress by having to protect the Ryans.
Yeah, man, if you can find the Ryans, that's the thing. They're always on the move, you know. They're always on the move, so it's tough. I don't know how many times I think I've seen Dr. McClendon put a plate of food down, and 3 hours later it's still sitting there. You know, I mean, they're always moving.
Yeah,
so
that's
Of course, you could catch the assistant principal, Ryan. His pants a little tight.
Oh, he ain't gonna run fast.
fast.
He can't move his legs because he's so tight.
Can't get it going. His torso's like he's massive long. You know?
So funny,
it's
man.
crazy. So speaking of that, my wife works at the school system there at the elementary school, and she is a tyrant when it comes to school safety.
Oh,
And
absolutely,
I know
absolutely.
that you worked with her for a couple of years, still do, but I mean that's a serious deal. When she first went there, not saying nothing about Coach Edge. I'm just saying I love you, buddy. There was a lot of safety upgrades that you guys had to do. Y'all walked through that together a couple of years back. Talk about that. That when you send your kid to the elementary school or the high school or the middle school, talk about how they're secure and they're safe in that building and what you guys go through to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is my third school year in the Attalla City Schools, and the amount of upgrades that we've had in those buildings since I started here is just insane. But yeah, Ellie is fantastic. Probably one of the most squared away person I've ever seen when it comes to school safety. The cameras that we have got, the software that we have got for our door lock systems, just the way we secure our rooms and the training that we do and that she pushes is absolutely fantastic. Miss Mohawk as well. And our middle school and high school are the same. You know, we've got so many security and safety upgrades in the last 3 years. I mean, all three of my kids go to our school system, and I wouldn't have them anywhere else. So I've got one at the elementary school and one will be in the middle school and one will be starting in the high school. And, you know, I can go to work every day, even not go to work, and know that they're taken care of and that they're safe. So, you know, our door lock systems and the badges that we have, we've also just implemented a new one with, you know, like the Centegix clicking method to give our faculty and administrators, you know, that stuff's wired straight into our dispatcher at the police department.
Heck yeah.
So we're intertwining our trainings with our dispatchers. Our officers walk the schools, you know, every couple months. We have back to school active shooter and critical incidents drills before school starts back with our faculty, you know, and our administrators push that, and they're really big on that too. So just the amount of cross training that we do with everybody, and the software and the, you know, the camera systems and everything that we have up now is fantastic. So from a school safety perspective, I feel like we're way ahead of a lot of districts.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been tough for years. Like, there was a stage there, a point where people were scared to send their kids to school.
Yeah,
When I was doing counseling for many, many years, that was one of the things that families would talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I'm scared to turn my kid loose, right? Because I remember when 9/11 happened.
Sure.
Our oldest daughter was in daycare at Meadowbrook. And that's 25 years ago, right? 25 years ago, something like that.
1999.
And so when that happened, our mind went to, we got to get her out of school, right? We got to go get her. I think now they're safer at Attalla than they would be in your own car, right? I mean, that's a blessing to me, is to know not only my wife is safe, but my children, my two that went there, and they were safe, and they never felt scared. Not one time did they feel scared to go to school, and that says a lot.
Yeah, that you know, we had probably one of the most well-known was Columbine, was 99, and then you had, you know, 9/11 not too many years after that, and those two combined together really put school safety on the map. But it also brought a lot of you know, people who wanted to do harm to the schools. It brought that kind of stuff in, and you know, ever since then it's gone downhill as far as what we have to deal with.
Let's talk about a little bit. I know kind of all over the place, but let's jump on you. Part of your job is going out to kids' houses sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. You do home visits with the administration or different people, the faculty. Talk about that and why that's so important.
So one of the reasons we do home visits, obviously, is for welfare checks. You know, checking on our kids and our students, their family members. That's one of our main priorities. We do home visits for a couple different reasons, some logistics and administrative reasons on the school side and the law enforcement side. But most of the time, it is just it's welfare checks. You know, we've got kids that, you know, maybe they're having trouble getting to school, maybe they're having some issues going on at home, and that's kind of that informal counselor mentor, you know, side of things. I'll do home visits with our administrators, our mental health coordinator, sometimes DHR if needed, you know, those things. Sure. And the majority of it is just, you know, basic welfare of the student and the family. if there's any resources we can give them, if there's anything we can help with, if they need any assistance in school, that kind of stuff goes. But that's a big part of it. Not everything we do just happens inside those school walls. It's outside. It's family involved. It's in the community. But those home visits are important. It lets the kids and the families know that, hey, we can come to you. We're here to service y'all.
And they're not going there with the mindset of, hey, we're going to get somebody in trouble.
Right.
You're going there with the mindset and the heart to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And because you've built these relationships with these kids and parents, I'm sure that helps when that first knock on the door is.
Yeah, it's very well received, and they recognize me. Most of the parents, they're like, "Oh, it's not just it's not the police, it's the SRO.
It's not the police.
It's not the police.
That's funny.
It's just Wes.
Knock on the door. Where's the warrant? First thing you yell.
That's good.
It ain't the real police.
You've been making a point, start carrying a bunch of papers in your hair.
Yeah.
So
fun.
at the door.
Dude, could you imagine Try McKinney?
No, my God.
Oh, man.
Which
Try.
we love Try, right? We love.
So
He was somebody that was
Try.
at our house when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, Try all the
used to
time.
come
Yeah,
over
grew
all
up with
the
him.
time.
Loved him. Big teddy bear, but he's a big boy.
He was pounding down in
He
the
was
box,
a big
though.
dude.
Boy,
Yeah.
I mean, we'd dish it to him.
He
Yeah.
could not shoot a free throw. He was
No.
Shaquille O'Neal before there was Shaq. He couldn't shoot a free throw.
He tried to shoot. He shot with his hands on the side of the ball.
He's so big. You can't
just-
help it. It just.
I'm just trying to throw it, you.
But I just remember we did something. We get some of the questions in here, and people are just they're loving on you on the questions here, Wes. But seeing those kids wrap around Ty's leg at the elementary school
man.
back in the day, man. We talk about that often, man, because it's so cool to see all these kids playing on Try like he was a piece of equipment. Right?
I mean,
they loved him, and they were his babies. And
Yeah.
I know you take pride in the same thing.
Oh,
man.
absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
What a fun guy. Bless his heart.
Mayor Joe Taylor
Yeah.
says the SRO is the most important law enforcement position in any department.
That's good.
I'd agree with him.
You better.
That's why he was a fireman, right? Fireman.
I could see Joe as an SRO though.
Oh,
He'd be a good one.
was.
He'd be
a good
stationed in the lunchroom.
He
though.
served in special forces. He's qualified to do it.
He's gonna be in the all lunchroom. He's gonna be there.
Hey, real quick, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. The lady that lost her life at the falls.
Yeah.
Talk about real quick to you, buddy, to Vance. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
How he carried himself on television the other day. What
Yeah,
a good dude.
Vance Brown is a legit. He's a real dude, man, and he goes in it with the right frame of mind, the right mindset. He did the city proud. He did our county proud, and the way he handled the press. I don't know if you saw the interview or not, Wes. He's got Mayor Ford to his right, and you just know. Sometimes you listen to someone talk, who's controlling the room,
That's
who's
right.
controlling the situation.
Yeah.
Vance was in control. There was no doubt. And
That's that Attalla in him.
and I sent him a message yesterday, and I said, "Man, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, and I'm sorry your employees or your cohorts had to deal with it, but I'm sure glad you were the one leading it."
Yeah.
He's a legit dude, but those kind of situations come up.
That's right.
I mean, and from a law enforcement standpoint, how tough is it when you have to deal with those type situations?
I mean, it can be tough. It can be tough. Anytime that you have to talk about those kind of things, much less experience them, it's hard. Everybody sees the uniform and they're like, oh, it's a statue. I mean, we're people too, but talking about stuff like that or next of kin and things like that, just addressing those situations. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get through some stuff like that, but I think it was a fantastic interview. You did a great job. Composure was great. Very good speaker for what, the situation was. It can get to you sometimes. And I'll be honest, especially working with some of the younger kids and some of the things that we deal with, man, that tears me up sometimes. But that's one of the reasons that we do it. So.
It's crazy because you're expected to be stoic, firm,
Yeah.
compassionate to a point.
To a point.
But then when you get in the vehicle, I'm sure there's moments where your heart is just wrenched.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And if it's not, then I don't think you're in the right job.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what avenues do officers have, especially when we're talking Attalla, as far as mental health resources and those kind of things? Obviously, all the first responders need some kind of outlet. So
Sure.
what's available to you guys?
I mean, there's some local places in Attalla and things like that. But, I'm a big nobody wants to ask for help, especially when you're, type A personality, you want law enforcement, whatever the case may be, a male, nobody really wants to ask for help. But the job that we do and the job that a lot of people do, you can't go and do and see and, all the things that you're exposed to and not ask for help. So there's a lot of resources we have. The city's big on pushing the resources. We do have a couple places local in Attalla that, that offer great services to our guys, fire department, first responders in general. But that's one of them things where you're not gonna get help unless you want it and unless you ask for it. But I think it's definitely needed, and recommend it to anybody.
You have a good group of ladies and gentlemen that work with the Attalla Police Department.
We do.
You got some
Absolutely.
good people
Absolutely.
that are there. So, I mean, not only do you have those resources, you've got one another.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about brotherhood. One thing that I think that you would be good at is recruiting young people to come into law enforcement. Talk about that and the camaraderie that you guys have and how important law enforcement is. And it's important.
It's a need too, right?
When my son,
Yeah, it's always a need.
my son
Absolutely.
came to me and said, hey, I want to be a police. I said,
Yeah.
I know you called me.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a call.
Yeah.
Can you believe what Brandon just told me?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I never saw it.
Yeah.
You just didn't see it coming. But that's something that is important. But that's a tribute to you guys.
It is,
They've seen
yeah.
something in you guys that they go, I want to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. How you present your department and your leadership is huge. We're a young department. We've had a lot of people retire in the last few years. They've been there since I was a kid going through the school system. A lot of officers that have retired in the last 5 years. I grew up watching them work the streets and in the schools and stuff. But we're a young department. We're looking to hire. So if anybody's interested, come to the city of Attalla. We got a great. Like I said, our leadership is. I'd say it's unmatched. I know. Not saying Mayor Taylor's on there, but we got. I'd probably put Larry Means up against the best of them, and our leadership in the police department is great. So we've got a lot of young guys, and I know there's a lot of agencies around us that have got their young departments too. But we're always looking for good people. It is hard to find good people in this job, and a lot of that is because of the way that the world makes it out to be. Nobody wants to police these days, but it's getting better, and we're always looking to hire more folks. So come talk to us. Come talk to me.
And there's hope, right? Because
Absolutely.
if Doug Jordan can make it to where he's made it, man, y'all promote from within for real.
Oh yeah.
Level of disrespect on this show sometimes.
Absolutely.
Hey, Greg, you want to read that from Chief Freeman?
Old Chief Jay Freeman
Jay.
says Wes is a good guy. Talla's blessed to have him. He's recruiting. Right
Don't
now.
recruit him, Jay.
Dude,
Leave him
everybody he
alone.
says that about comes on the show, and next thing I know, there's a picture.
Guys, to stay here and take a picture.
Yeah.
Jay
Leave him
always
alone,
stealing
Jay.
We
Yeah,
love him.
I love them guys over there, man. Jay and Mike Powell and Banks and all them. I've worked
We
with
just
some
found
of
out that
them.
Mike was over there.
They are
we
awesome.
didn't know that.
Mike's slinging real estate too.
He
Yeah,
is. He's going
yeah,
to make $1
absolutely.
bill. No question.
Yeah. He's all
So
about
to
it.
talk about how important it is to be able to work with other agencies like a Gadsden State or a Gadsden or Etowah County Sheriff's Department.
Oh man, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's just like anything else. You can't do the job alone. You can't do it alone as an agency. We do a lot of training with the Gadsden State Police Department. They do a lot of training with us. City of Gadsden. The sheriff's office especially. A lot of agencies. We do a lot of stuff between each of them. We have a range that they're always welcome to use, and they do, and then they invite us to trainings. A lot of things like at the venue and countywide things. The Attalla Police Department's always invited, and we're fortunate for that. But just like anything, we're part of the Etowah County SWAT team, and we have a K9, we have a handler. Tyler Varner does a great job. And, we use that, with other agencies too if we need to. We've actually got some training today in the schools where the sheriff's office, Lucas Harmark and his K9 are going to be training with our K9.
Heck yeah.
So, those cross agency trainings are important. You got to have those because everybody relies on everybody. We're a smaller department. But, the guys at Gadsden State Police Department, City of Gadsden, Glencoe, Hokes Bluff, Etowah County, Boaz, we work with all them and we're fortunate to have a good county team.
You guys are fortunate to have it. Makes it a lot easier to work anywhere when you've got good. I hate to say bosses, but you have a good city council. You have a mayor that supports you. You mentioned Larry. We love Larry, and one thing that you said, I never asked for something, or we've never asked for something that we didn't get.
Right.
And how important is it to have that type of backing from Larry or Mayor Taylor? Your leaders, how important is that?
Oh, it's it's very important. Yeah, it's one of the biggest things, is being able to have leadership that one you're comfortable working with, but two, that they've got your back. And not just our mayor, our whole city council and our board of education, does a fantastic job with us. So very fortunate, and even outside the city, like guys like Jay Freeman and Mayor Taylor and Craig Ford and all those, just having those guys at least even know who you are, and then say, hey, can I do anything for you? Can we get you anything? Is our department good? You know, that's
And they mean it when they
they
ask.
mean it. Yeah, they absolutely mean it. So I don't know how many messages I've got from people outside of our agency. It's like, hey, you know, you want to come do this or that or go to this class, or, you know, we'll get with Chief and do that. And, I mean, it's huge. You know, it's not just a city or municipality wide leadership and teamwork. It's countywide. It goes beyond that. I know
So-
some of our guys are connected with guys in Birmingham, and they
Oh, that's
run.
huge.
You know, hey, you've got guys coming from Birmingham up 59. Y'all keep an eye out for them, and it's just I think it's a profession wide thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Lastly, for me, so when's the last time that Cole Grove has said, "Hey, throw the sirens on, hit the Whataburger, I'm hungry"?
Can you imagine him with a vest and a gun? I mean,
He looked like Craig Ford.
okay. We're not going there today. Not with Wes on the show.
We'll give him a blue gun, a toy gun.
A toy gun
yeah.
with a training
Yeah, a
gun.
little training gun. Yeah, a little blue gun.
That's fun. Give him a little badge, Jeff. He's gonna hook you up with a little badge.
Yeah.
Be okay.
I got him a sticker. Give him a
Oh
sticker
yeah,
badge,
heck yeah, man.
That has the dare.
The dare
sticker. Yeah,
The daring on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if someone wants to donate to Dare, you guys need snacks and stuff for camp.
Oh, yeah.
How can they help you guys
yeah,
out?
Absolutely. Oh, they can contact me or the police department directly. We do take donations for DARE. We have a lot of businesses outside of Attalla and inside of Attalla that donate to the DARE program. Like I said, we do our camp every year. It's a 3-day camp. We pay for a lot of that through our fundraising. You know, our counselors do a lot of fundraising. We do events. Like I said, our administrators in the schools, they're fortunate. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have them. Anytime we want to do fundraisers or anything, they're on board. They coordinate, and sometimes they plan a lot of it too. But you can donate to the DARE program through the City of Attalla, the Attalla Police Department, or you can just come to the school and talk to any of our administrators or me. But yeah, it usually costs us anywhere around $10,000 to $20,000 a year to run our DARE camp. And that includes our materials, you know, our events, the camp fees, the food, yeah.
And the food is,
Man,
they feed these
we
kids,
gonna eat.
dog.
Yeah, we gonna eat.
That's
Yeah.
so. But I couldn't be more proud of you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And your brother. Hey, we got to talk about DJ.
Oh,
Man,
DJ, man.
we can't give him a
Man,
free
DJ.
pass.
Oh yeah.
Your brother's in law enforcement?
Yeah,
DJ?
well, yeah, actually a few of them. So
Oh, I have met him.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I have. Yes, sir. That's
Yeah.
who he is. That's my bad. Yeah.
yeah, so DJ, he works with me. I work for the Attalla Police Department. He's a captain.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I call him my brother. So, but no, I've worked closely with him for years, obviously. But my sister, you know, works for the DA's office, and then Trent, our other brother, works for the sheriff's office. So
forgot about
we're
Trent.
all yeah,
Oh,
Trent.
okay.
Yeah, so we're all
Yeah, kind of forget about Trent.
so you know, it's not just a department thing. It's a family thing. You know,
It
we're
is.
countywide, spread out throughout the county. But yeah, working with my brothers and my sister, it's fantastic.
Did
you
you
know.
guys compete and make fun when one gets promoted over the other one?
Oh yeah, always.
Dude, let me say,
always.
DJ is an idiot. And I mean that if you know him, he's like, oh yeah, I
You know
get it.
him.
I mean, the best way possible. And his sense of humor is you don't know how to take him sometimes.
I'm in on that.
Dude is great, man.
Yeah.
He cracks me up. I never really see him or talk to him much anymore, but the dude is. It's a great family, man.
Yeah.
And we're all super
I'm
proud of
blessed
you
for it,
guys.
so.
Attalla is so thankful to have maybe the new first family of law enforcement.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
Heard
Watch
it
out,
here
Jay
first.
Freeman. That sucker.
Gas State don't count. Gas State don't count.
Yeah.
How good is his hair? He
Man.
makes me sick. He makes me
Man, that's the
sick.
thing. We ain't gonna compete with the hair.
Golly, it's got to be a weave, right? Is it some weave?
He's
I
unbelievable.
mean, his
No
granddad's
question.
bald head as a mug, but it.
They recognized his grandfather yesterday, right? Rainbow
think so.
City. That was pretty
Yeah.
special.
That's so
Can't wait to have him back on the show. But Wes, thank you so much for taking the
thank
time
you.
to be with us.
Hey guys, thanks for
And
having
maybe
me.
we'll
I
have you back
appreciate
on after Dare Camp.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
After you get a
A
break,
debrief.
you
Yeah.
gonna need a vacation after
it.
that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a rough week.
Oh, real quick. Saturday, you guys are leaving. We're going with you, but
Yeah.
you're going
Tazro, right?
Tazro, yeah.
Talk about that training real quick for SROs.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely. So we're leaving to go to Orange Beach for the it's Tazro, the Alabama Association of SROs. It's a Safe Schools Conference. We go annually. Big on school safety. You know, we have guest speakers from all around the world come. Bernie James goes over school law from Pepperdine University. We have tons of vendors there that's all about school safety, and a lot of it is some of the stuff we've implemented, like the locking systems, the camera systems, the Centegix badges. But it's a week-long training. We go every year, and it's a school safety conference. That's all it is, 5 days. So.
I want to, since you went there, I know that some of this training though is really emotional.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, I've heard
Yep.
stories. I mean,
Yeah.
your wife was telling
Yeah.
a story.
Come back that day,
Yeah.
just weeping. Yeah.
It's serious training.
It
You
is,
guys,
yeah.
it's the realest of the real. So again, thank you to what you guys do. I don't know if you want to go into any of that, but
Yeah, I'll touch on it.
Legitimate training.
Yeah. So aside from that, the guest speakers and some of the stuff that we do in the conference, they do offer what is an active shooter scenario based drills that that's offered to the administrators and the counselors and stuff that go. It's at Gulf Shores High School, and they set up a real life active shooter scenarios. And a lot of times, if you're an administrator, or counselor, teacher, you're paired with an SRO, and they give you basically a scenario inside the school. You've got a shooter, you've got people injured, stuff like that, and they run through the drill as real life as it can be. And it's emotional, it's and it's tough, because as you're doing the training, the only thing you're thinking about is if this was my school and these were actual kids. Wow. How would I keep it together? And it's tough, if you don't train for that kind of thing. But the only way you know how you're going to react is to train and be prepared for it.
Sure.
And it's not that they're just in there running around hiding. That you guys put the gun in their hand.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They have to lead and actually.
Yeah, they use
trigger,
what's called sim
decisions.
guns, which are simulated guns that shoot like paint rounds. But yeah, they have to lead it. They have to make decisions. They have to decide whether they're going to de-escalate, whether they're going to return fire, shoot, detain, whatever the case may be. But all the time you've got bodies laying around. You've got all these scenarios running through your head, and it's tough. With adrenaline dump like that, it's tough on some of them.
How impactful is that though?
Very, very impactful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Before we went that first year, it was 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
For her, she said, "I've never held a gun," So we went outside, and here she is shooting this, and we gave her a 9, and it's so loud, and she hated it. She said, "I'm not doing this." No, you got to. You got to do that.
At this point, Ellie's going down the hall, with an AK-47,
Yeah, now
and she's doing the.
Yeah, look like Rambo.
Exactly. Hey, well, you guys do such a thankless job, man. So we want to say thank you for keeping
Well, I
all of
appreciate
our
y'all's
kids
support.
safe,
Thank you.
man, and continue the good work, man. Go support DARE. It's a great program.
That's right. Drop off your donations you can drop it off City Hall, Police Department, all 3 of the schools. Just call Wes himself, drop off some payments, or hey, listen, our church, we need to work out. We'll do something.
Yeah,
we'll sponsor.
we can do
stuff.
something for you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can help you out. Any churches, civic groups that want to donate to DARE Camp, it would be greatly appreciated. So,
Well, thank you to our sponsors.
yes, thank you so much to Rick's Drugs in Attalla. We had him on a couple days ago. He's such a good guest,
Dude, Scott.
He loves sports. I think
Scott's a
more
good
than
dude.
He does selling drugs.
Not that kind of
Not that
drugs.
drug,
That's
sorry.
easy one.
Etowah Used Cars, thank you, Councilman Dwayne Ball. Daring had his ears covered up. Randy Weiss, running for Rainbow City election. City Council Randy Weiss, Coach Randy Weiss. And I've lost my
How about
contact.
Thacker
There you go.
Towing?
There you go. It's Thacker. It's gone. Talk about him.
Well, right now he's on vacation with his wife, celebrating an anniversary.
His
They're out of
truck's
town. Do you know Kenneth?
Yeah, Kenneth. Yeah.
Dude's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
He's. I want to see him repoing your cop car. We could pay him enough to do that. He would go get
I
it.
think he's scared to do it.
He taking
You've
yours.
seen him? He ain't scared of nothing.
That dude's special.